Are ethics important, especially in relation to computers or technology? Got an email here from Justin, who begins by addressing me as Mr. Perillo. Maybe I should have worn a tie for this answer. He says, I don't know how to ask this, but I'll explain what I'm asking for first. I'm in a college currently enrolled in computer programming courses, and one of these classes requires a term paper on computer ethics. I personally would like to include your opinions on the topic, as you're making a living by doing what you do through the blogosphere and YouTube. I have a few questions I hope you can hit on. 1. How would you define the computer ethics in today's digital world? 2. Is it important for social sites on the web to enforce ethical behavior on said sites? And 3. Is there a true code of ethics regarding computer use, and if so, what practices used, especially on the web, conform and or violate said code? I'd appreciate anything you can contribute, and if you make a video on this topic, may I have your permission to include it in my presentation? Yes, you do have permission, hiccups and all. Number 1, how would I define the term computer ethics in today's world? Honesty and transparency. In fact, that's likely the term you would hear thrown about in relation to ethics. That is transparency. Being transparent about you and the things that you're doing and the things that you're saying and the things that you may be promoting. And this is important because as the tools to publish are easier and more accessible and more affordable for a wide variety of people with varied backgrounds and experience levels, ethics isn't always inherent. So it comes down to trusting the person who may be doing something or saying something. If you run across a blog post and it's a raving review about this new product, say, oh, this is so awesome, this is so cool. Well, how do you know that person has any credibility? How do you know that they weren't paid to write what it is that they're saying? How do you know that's not a paid endorsement if it wasn't disclosed? Well, that's the thing, if it wasn't disclosed. And that's the issue that is always raised in terms of ethics, transparency, etc. in today's digital world. When you are transparent about it, when you are blatant about it, it's a different story. Because then you know the transparency is there. I tell you exactly what's going on. You know exactly what's going on. I don't hide anything. Much to many people's chagrin. Number 2, is it important for social sites on the web, like Twitter, MySpace, YouTube, to enforce ethical behavior on said sites? If you're promoting anything that may be considered illegal, it's not exactly the smartest thing you could do. And if there's a terms of service on any particular site, whether it's social or not, you're likely violating it because you could be getting that website itself in trouble if they don't take your content off the site, the things that you're producing, the things that you're saying, etc. It's important for social sites to certainly have that terms of service. In terms of enforcing it, well, certainly if they value their brand, I would actually take it a step further, and I'm under the belief that the community is going to raise more red flags than the site in which that community exists. They may surface the issue, and in many ways, I've been a part of any kind of content or questionable content escalation over the years, not only in my own communities, but have certainly flagged certain users and certain content as somewhat unethical. When it comes down to personal attacks, and there are many of them, I don't think it's a very ethical behavior. It's just not, it's uncalled for. If you don't like someone because of the things they believe in that may be different from what you believe in, well, respond to them appropriately. I mean, if when you bring it to a point that your own ethics in a retort are called into question, well, then you're not really doing yourself or your side of the argument any favors. Number 3, is there a true code of ethics regarding computer use? And if so, what practices used conform and or violate said code? Code of ethics regarding computer use. Well, you may have seen the movie Office Space, and, it was justified, at least by the perpetrators of this white-collar crime, that, it's just pennies being swept away, and we're just taking those pennies. It's the whole, Superman 3 scheme. If you ever saw Superman 3. It's not ethical behavior. They're taking money that they're not entitled to have. They're stealing. In fact, that was the whole argument between one character and another in the movie. This would be a good time for you, as Justin, to insert the clip from Office Space with attribution. That's key. Credit your sources appropriately and accordingly. I don't know if you can embed my video in a term paper or anything, but you may be able to use bits of this video in an actual class presentation. It's kind of freaky. I think that'd be the first time I would know being involved in a presentation this way. The code of ethics that one might adhere to depends on his or her approach to the tool, the technology, the outlet, the vehicle, and the community in which they exist. So if you're going to try to enforce ethics inside a community that prides itself in not having any ethics, and that is a community that knowingly pirates content, knowingly steals in one way, shape, or form, does things that are, right on the boundary of not being the right thing to do and barely being the right thing to do, riding that cusp, you're probably going to have a difficult time finding anybody there who has ethics. That's not a very strong community, at least one that would reinforce positive behavior. And as far as computer use goes, it all depends on the person. How do they feel? When a person who develops spyware or a virus or a Trojan or a worm creates this thing that is designed to wreak havoc, cause pain and frustration, do they have ethics? Maybe they have a different perspective on what ethics means. What is good ethics? What is having a code of ethics? Where do you draw the line? But it's all contingent on the individual's perspective. To me, this is one of the things that I think keeps me live streaming. That keeps me honest. And the blogosphere keeps everybody honest. If I did something wrong, and I have in the past, they will call me on it. And they have. I've been called many, many things. Some people may question why I do things, but I get upset more than you would believe when someone accuses me of something that I didn't do. That really upsets me because I know me and I know what I've done, and I just can't get past that hurdle when someone accuses me of something heinous or something they believe is heinous. If I've done it, I'll be very, very open about it. And if it was done on the web, well, there's no way I can cover my tracks. I mean, it's there. It's done. I do my best to live my life according to a general code of ethics. Do unto others. That's the golden rule. I'm going to treat you with as much respect as you treat me. And I'll even give you that trust inherently until you break it. It's gotten me in trouble in a lot of relationships because there's a lot of people out there who just cannot be trusted. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you fool me, you can't get fooled again. Actually, it's shame on me. That's how the... Anyway, those are just my perspectives, I should say, on the matter of ethics. Just don't use things that are there to do bad things. Don't use software to do bad things to other people or companies or businesses, or just be a good person. Cheese and crackers. There. That says it all. Be a good person. Stop being bad people. Bad people suck. But who defines what a bad person is? Or who a bad person is? Are you a bad person or a good person?
What is the cheese and cracker thing?
Babe, I was doing a whole thing on ethics. Like not interrupting someone when they're talking.
Cheese and crackers.
My email address is chris@perillo.com. Maybe you have some unique perspectives on ethics, personal stories, what have you. Feel free to pass them along or leave a comment. You're also welcome to swing by the chat room, where you never really know what's going to happen, but largely I'm doing very legal, morally upstanding, highly ethical in a good way things here all the time, because the video is always on. Just never really know what I'm going to be doing, but I'm going to be doing it with or without you. So hopefully it's going to be with you soon enough at live.perillo.com. We'll see you later.